Good morning. Okay, I'm really excited because this is our last unit, but it's one that I really like. Today I'm going to be talking to you about traditions. And traditions are customs. Customs are things that we do and beliefs. So things that we believe. So customs and beliefs that get passed down from generation to generation. What that means is that they get passed down from your grandma to your mom to you. So your family keeps doing them and they keep passing it on to the younger people, right? And it's things that we tend to do like every year or every month. So I'm going to tell you, for example, a tradition that my family has is that on everybody's birthday, we all write each other birthday cards and we tell each other what we're grateful for. And we do that every year. So that's a tradition that we keep passing on every year. Another example of a tradition, when I was little, during Easter, all of my family would get together, all of my aunts and uncles and grandparents. We would all get together and we would go to Lake Casitas for Easter. We would go to Mass, and then after that, we would go to Lake Casitas to celebrate. And we would do that every year. Unfortunately, that's a tradition that we don't keep up anymore because we don't do that anymore. But when I was little, it was a tradition because we would do it every year, and that's something that my family had done for a while. So traditions sometimes change, and that's actually what we're going to read about in our story today. Can you think of any traditions that you might have with your family? What are some things that your family does? For example, simply putting up a Christmas tree, that's a tradition. If you put up a Christmas tree every year and that's something that your family does every year, that's a family tradition. Maybe you guys have dinner together every day. Maybe you have dinner every night, and that's a tradition because you keep doing it. And maybe when you're older, you're going to have dinner every night with your family, and it's going to keep going and going. What's another tradition that might exist? Can you think of one for your family? Maybe you have movie nights every month, every week. What's a tradition? Maybe you guys do something special for each other's birthdays. Okay, maybe you take another tradition that I had when I was little is that every summer my parents would take us on a trip. So every summer we would take a family trip, and that was a tradition because we had to do it every year. My parents would make sure that we did it every year. And so now that's something that I plan to continue. That's a tradition that I'm going to pass on. Okay? So traditions. So if you look at our picture today, let me move the box out of the way so you can see the picture a little bit better. It says, pass it on. And our essential question is, what traditions do you know about? So it's kind of like what we were talking about right now. What traditions do you know about? Maybe they're not traditions that your family does, but they're things that other people do. Maybe on Thanksgiving, your family cooks turkey every night, or you know somebody that does. Okay, what are some traditions? So, what is this boy learning from his grandmother? Let me show you. What are they doing? Okay, if you don't know, this is called knitting. Okay, so she's using, and I don't know a whole lot about knitting, boys and girls, because that's not a tradition of mine. But you can make scarves, you can make beanies with knitting. So it looks like this is a tradition that his grandma is passing on to him. Pass it on. Pass it on meaning you teach somebody else how to do it and then they teach somebody else, right? Okay, our high frequency words in the story that we're going to read today is before. For example, they read before going to bed. So let's look at the picture. Before. Front. Ooh, I'm sorry. Front. The dog walks in front of the girl. Front. So the dog is in front. Heard. Have you heard Dad play? Heard. Push. Mom will push the sled. Push. Push. Tomorrow. I hope it will be sunny tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. Your. I'm glad to meet your mom. Your. This your is when something belongs to you. Your. Or something belongs to somebody, actually, not you. Something belongs to somebody. Like that is your pencil. That is your hat. It belongs to you. Your. Difficult. This puzzle is difficult to do. Difficult. Difficult means hard. This puzzle is difficult to do. Hard, challenging means difficult. Nobody. Nobody is on the porch. Nobody. So there's no people. No body. Nobody. Okay, so the story we're reading today is called A Spring Birthday. And our essential question again is, what traditions do you know about? Read about how a family starts a new tradition. Now, as we're reading, I want you to think about the theme of the story. So when I say theme, I mean, what are we learning from the story? Last time we talked about author's purpose, and the purpose was, why did the author want to tell that story to us, or why did the author want to write it? Now the theme is, what are we learning from the story? Okay, what message are we getting from the story? All right, so what are we learning from this story? What message? A spring birthday. And let's look at the picture. What do you see? What are they doing? Who are the characters? What's the setting? What are they doing? Okay, so I see a grill with patties, a piñata. The characters, I see a young boy. This might be his mom. This might be his grandma. That might be his dad. I see napkins, plates on a table. The setting looks like a park because I see trees. I see grass. This looks like a picnic table. I see a present and cake. So this makes me think, I see cake, presents, piñatas. This makes me think they're maybe celebrating a birthday. And the title says a spring birthday. So yeah, they're probably celebrating a birthday. May like the month. May was a happy time for Marco. It was his birthday month. Can I have a party this year? He asked. Then my friends can celebrate with me. May. Who else has birthdays in May? Me and Carlos. It's our family tradition. Oh, and you can't see the words. I need to move myself out of the way here. It's our family tradition to have a birthday dinner. What does that mean? If it's their tradition, that means they do it every year. So for birthdays, they have a birthday dinner. It is our family tradition to have a birthday dinner, said Graham. Your friends can join us. I will make empanadas for everyone. Empanadas. Look at this writing. Why does it look different? Why do you think it looks different than all the other writing? I will make empanadas for everyone. Let's keep reading and see if you can get it. Nobody makes better empanadas, Graham, Marco said, but it would be fun to do something new this year. What does he want to do for his birthday? How about a picnic? Dad asked. I heard about a nice spot in the park on Elm Street. It's in front of a ball field. We can push the tables together. So, what are they going to do for his birthday? That sounds like fun, said Marco. We can have hot dogs, burgers, and Graham's empanadas. What are they going to eat? Hot dogs, burgers, and empanadas. At last, it was the morning of Marco's birthday. He opened his eyes. He saw Mom and Dad and Graham. They were singing the Mexican birthday song, Las Mañanitas. Ooh, look, we have different writing again. What do you think that means? Las Mañanitas, Marco sprang out of bed. He could not wait for his party. Mom and Dad went shopping before the party. First, they got a baseball mitt for Marco. Then they bought a birthday cake and a piñata. Everyone met at the picnic spot. Happy birthday! Feliz cumpleaños, Marco! They shouted. Mom hung the piñata. Dad spread out the food. There were hot dogs, burgers, and yummy empanadas. After lunch, the children took turns striking the piñata. Each one swung 3 times. The piñata was difficult to hit. At last, it split open. The kids shrieked and scrambled for the treats. Next, Marco opened his gifts. When he saw the baseball mitt, he cried, "Thank you, this is just what I wanted." Now, this doesn't mean he was crying. It means he cried like he yelled, like he was very excited. When he saw the baseball mitt, he cried, "Thank you, this is just what I wanted. I can use it in the game tomorrow." When it was time for cake, Marco's family sang the Mexican birthday song again. Marco's friends hummed along, then Mom taught them the words so they could sing it too. "This is the best birthday party I've ever had," Marco said. "Can we do this again next year?" "Sure," said Graham. "It's fun to mix the old with the new. A spring picnic can be your birthday tradition." Why does Grandma say it's fun to mix the old with the new? What is she talking about? Old what? What have we been talking about? What's that word that we talked about in the beginning? Traditions. Okay, so Graham says, sure, it's fun to mix the old with the new. A spring picnic can be your birthday tradition. Because what was their birthday tradition before? Do you remember? Their birthday tradition before, and let's go back to our text. Right here, we find some evidence. It says, it's our family tradition to have a birthday dinner. Did Marco have a birthday dinner? No, he had a birthday picnic. Dinner's usually at night, right? Marco's birthday celebration was not at night. It was during the day at a picnic. So now we're going to talk about traditions. Traditions, and what's the theme of this story? What's the point of it? So you're going to open your squirrel book. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh, I went too far. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. You are going to go to page 310 in your squirrel book. 310. 310. 310. And it looks like this. Okay, if you need to pause to find it, go ahead and pause. Okay. So we're talking about theme. Theme is what is the message that we're learning from this story? What is the story teaching us? What does Grandma say? Now, Marco's family has a tradition to have birthday dinners, right? That's their old tradition. But now Marco doesn't want a birthday dinner. He wants to have a birthday picnic, and that's a new tradition. So in this story, we're learning that sometimes traditions change a little bit. We can mix traditions, right? He still has empanadas, he still has his piñata, but now it's a little bit different than their old tradition because now he's having a picnic instead of a dinner. He's adding hot dogs, not just empanadas. Now he has a mix of the two. So this story is teaching us that we can combine old traditions and new traditions together. Okay? So our theme is that we can blend old traditions, old and new, to make new traditions. Okay? When you grow up, maybe you'll mix some of the traditions that you have now with new traditions, okay? Because traditions change sometimes. Just like time changes, so do our traditions. Remember I told you that when I was little, all of my family used to get together and we used to go to Lake Casitas? That was a tradition that we had when we were small. We don't do that anymore, but my family still gets together at somebody's house. We don't go to Lake Casitas anymore, but we get together at somebody's house. And before, we used to only eat carne asada, but now we bring different kinds of food. So our tradition has changed a little bit. We mix old, so we still get together with my family. We still eat carne asada, but we've changed it a little bit because now we meet at somebody's house. We bring different kinds of food. So it's a little bit different. What are some of the clues in the story that we can blend old and new to make new traditions? Let's start with the old tradition. What was the old tradition that they had? What would they celebrate? How would they celebrate birthdays? So during their birthday, they used to have a birthday dinner. Birthday dinners birthday dinner was their family tradition. Right? And then what happened? What happened after that? Did Marco want a birthday dinner? No, he was gonna have a birthday picnic, right? So Marco had a birthday picnic with, what kinds of food did he have? He still had empanada, so that was the old. And what was the new kind of food he had? Let's see. Let's go back in our text. He said, "That sounds like fun," said Marco. "We can have hot dogs, burgers, and Grandma's empanadas." So they still had Grandma's empanadas, but they added a new type of food. They were going to have hot dogs and hamburgers. Burgers. Okay? And now that becomes his new tradition, right? So we went from the old tradition, he mixed the old and the new, and now this is Marco's birthday picnic is his, I know I'm writing fast, boys and girls, but I'm going to leave this up for you. Marco's birthday picnic is his new tradition. So the theme of the story is that we can mix old and new traditions to make brand new traditions. So it says, birthday dinner was their family tradition, period. Marco had a birthday picnic with empanadas, hot dogs, and burgers. Marco's birthday picnic is his new tradition. That's an O. And our theme is that you can blend old and new to make new traditions. Alrighty. Okay, that's it for right now.